What's up, gamers? As we all sit around waiting for any news about the patch, I thought I'd put on my developer hat, answer your questions that you guys have been asking in the Discord server over on the official No Rest for the Wicked Discord, and ultimately dive into kind of what's going on behind the scenes and really all the hidden secrets that we're learning about the devs and this development process by the fact that we have not yet heard an update. And at the time of this recording, it is Wednesday and we are ready to rock and roll. We also have some people online talking about how the game is dead, and I'm going to dive into the numbers, kind of really break it down for you, and then ultimately spend some time in our community discussion. There's a lot to love here. There's a lot to still be excited about for this game. So let's go ahead and get this started. Hello everyone, and welcome to another No Rest for the Wicked video. We've got a lot to talk about, and I want to open up with this comment from Gofka on the Discord. It says the devs kind of need to be communicative about this patch though, and I want to break it down as a developer, tell you guys what's going on behind the scenes, and hopefully give you guys some just reassurance about this process. So speaking of which, communication is absolutely pivotal, but it is important to follow this up with tell us when you know, because you don't want to keep making promises and missing on those promises. They committed to last week having the update either Thursday or Friday, but it needed more time to cook. And they did preface this with that it needed more time to cook, but still, we as gamers live in a world of a lot of different choices and a lot of other things to play. And it can be somewhat frustrating when you constantly are, questioning what's going on. So communication is going to be important, but this also tells me as a developer that they've run into some bugs and different issues that it wasn't going to be good for them or good for us that they got pushed in. So I want to encourage them to take their time. However, they need to get better at kind of estimating the amount of time it's going to take to bug fix and add in these different features. We've already been told this patch is going to be super beefy, and I want to explore some of the things and questions you guys have about that later here in this video. But all that being said is that they missed on last Thursday and Friday. It is now Wednesday, which for me personally falls outside of the realm of early next week, but we will finally wait and see. And so I hope that I will be making the patch notes video for you guys today, and we can all kind of check out the new update and see what it's all about together. But just note, we're going to be doing that. Also, being that last week's patch was a miss, I went ahead and gifted out the 5 members over here on the community on the last live stream. I'm not going to be making a bet like that yet, but we're going to be able to use what we've seen with this delay and with this kind of process to get a better more accurate picture of the developers and their capabilities. This isn't saying that they are less capable. This is saying that this is a big process, and I honestly want them to always put their best foot forward, quality over quantity. But that doesn't necessarily mean that if you're frustrated with a game that I'm discounting that. I understand, and that's why it's so funny to me when you start to see messages like game's dead and no patch, dead game mindset trickling into any kind of gaming community. Doomers are perhaps the most entertaining piece of the puzzle when it comes to online games, so I thought I'd spend a little time talking about the numbers, what they mean, and ultimately what you can expect. And being that we have accurate information because this game is currently only playable through Steam, we can get a good picture of the current state of the community. Let's start with obviously concurrence and industry standard math. If you guys aren't aware, you can use these numbers to actually get a good idea of what size population the community is. You usually take a range between a multiplication of 7 to a multiplication of 11 based off of the concurrency. A lot of people see concurrency and they think there's only, 1,671 players are playing this game right now. That's actually not the case, because I'm not playing this game at the time of this recording, but I'm still an active player, and see how that kind of works its way, and the math is there adjusted. So it is in an industry standard calculation where you can look at a range from 7 to 11, which gives us right now an active player population of 14,000 to 22,000 players playing this game over the course of the next couple of weeks or the previous couple of weeks. That's just how the math works. Ultimately though, if we look at the all-time peak for an early access game, this is running from an overall player population of either 250,000 to just under 400,000 players who have actively decided they wanted to check out this game. Obviously, these are estimates. We don't have the exact numbers, but this does give me a lot of excitement and hope for the future of this game because this is an early access game, because this is not yet released on consoles. I think we're going to be more than fine. And the other thing about the dead game meme, in a way, is that a lot of people forget about what marketing and patches and communication do. I know for me, like I still cannot set this game down. It is truly like this incredible experience, and I'm looking forward to there being more of these experiences and covering this game more for you guys. And speaking of which, guys, thank you so much for being here. I want to shout out to all the new subs who have taken a chance on my content. I want to earn your sub, and if I do, sound off in the comments. I love thanking you guys in the comments as well, but also being able to highlight your comments here on the videos. So I appreciate you guys for taking a chance, and if you do feel like this video earns it, sound off in the comments. Otherwise, let me know when you subbed. I'm always very curious as to see when people sub. Sometimes it's been a while, you've been here for a long time, sometimes you're brand new. So anyway, hello everybody, I appreciate you being here and welcome in. Let's go to the question of the day. Crybaby on Discord asking question: what are we waiting for? Is only a patch with some changes, or is it going to be a patch that's adding in new content to the game? And while I think there's definitely a bunch of us who want new content, I think we're going to be more or less seeing a quality of life improvement. If the devs go and add in new content, whether that's areas to explore, new bosses to attack, changes to the Crucible, that's all bonus. But I'm not putting my expectations in that. One of the things that I see really truly frustrate gamers over and over again is expectations not meeting with the reality. Now, that's a part on marketing. I think when you look at frustrations around games, there's a marketing component where people feel like what they were promised didn't lead up to that expectation, but we also have to take a little bit of personal responsibility in that we let ourselves kind of get into that. We like the hype cycle. We like being excited about games. We like being a part of a community that's growing and having these kind of numbers, but ultimately hype isn't sustainable. And so you have to have a foundation that's set. And I think No Rest for the Wicked has that foundation. And I'm very excited to see how they build from that from here. But with this patch, I'm not expecting content. If they add it in, it's just bonus, right? Like that's where, oh my gosh, I got a bonus at work. How exciting is that? But I'm not expecting it. I'm going to show up. It's going to have quality of life. It's going to fix some bugs. It's going to do a couple different things. I'm very excited about going hands-on with different weapons. So there's a lot of value that I'm seeing already in that perspective, but that's something that I would cautious heavily on if there's new content. And I'll make a bet about that. If they go and add in new content, if we can explore new areas and they add in new bosses, like, and I'm talking about content here. I'm not talking about quality of life. I will gift out 5 members over on the next live stream whenever we learn what is included. And we'll see. I think that will be fun. And I thank you guys so much for being here and for being members. Now let's go ahead and shift into the community discussion. This is a good time to just let you guys know, if you don't like community discussions, we're going to talk a little bit about the game. We're going to talk a little bit about life in these segments. And if you hang out for these, thank you. And if you don't, no worries. Hopefully I see you guys in the next video. Let's kick it off with Gavin saying it's sad because they make up for review bombs. They didn't account for all the dumb stuff that dads who thought it was Diablo 5 or idiots playing on a 2080 expected for real performance. Performance was not great, but it was literally best on day one before idiots started complaining about their 15-year-old computers. And this is in relation to the reviews that are continually getting better and better. And just like with player numbers, I don't think it's a healthy approach to build your gaming identity based off of the number of players playing your game and whether it is being reviewed bad or not. If you like the game, that's all that matters. The game just needs to be fun, and I'm not really too worried about that noise. But we do know those noises do keep more of the casual gamer away. Marketing plays a huge role. It's pivotal in game development because it gets the word out. You can almost think of what I am doing as a form of marketing, and that's actually how some of these companies treat these kind of things. And you got to always be aware, be well aware, be aware of the relationships that are going on behind the scenes. I shared that I got a new cool ass sweater from the development team based off of the work on these videos, and it's flattering to see that, but it's also important to let you guys know that relationship isn't important to me. Being honest with you guys is the most important thing. And if I'm not invited to different things, if I'm not allowed to have access, etc., to the developers, that's actually, I think, a stronger thing. Like I've burned bridges, not purposely burned bridges, but I'm not going to compromise for that. But marketing is key to getting in those kind of gamers. And when it comes to the PC side of things, this is kind of one of the things that I really enjoy about GeForce Now. As a non-sponsored person within that ecosystem, I really do enjoy that service, and it takes away that issue of not having the hardware to run these games. The other thing that we'll solve for that in the future is obviously consoles, opening it up to even more people. I think when it's all said and done, the people that I value are the people who are willing to go and find out for themselves rather than just take the word of somebody else. I ran into this problem when I was much younger, where I became a review snob. If IGN, for example, didn't review a game as a 9 or higher, then I just wasn't interested in it. And I realized I missed out on a lot of really good games that I've since gone back and rectified, because I like different things than necessarily a reviewer or somebody says online. So ultimately, the question ends up being is that, are the devs delivering content? Is the game fun to play? And if it is, if those two things are there, I'm happy to talk about it and cover it for you guys. And I think that's essentially kind of the thing. Get plugged in to people that you trust, and don't worry about the noise, because you can't control it. There's nothing we can do about what people say. And so that's why I don't put a lot of value or worry or in what people say. I look at more what they do, and that's, I think, a higher metric to rate. Now, Tremone writes, the fact that you ask your wife is preposterous. I really thought this was funny. It was a funny comment to me, personally speaking. It just kind of tells me, like, tell me you're a virgin without telling me you're a virgin. And this isn't any disparity against virgins. For me, I waited until I was married. Julie and I, we waited until our wedding night to be able to kind of jump into that. I always say I never lost my virginity. I know who has it. I gave it to her, and she gave me hers. But when I see these kind of things, it always makes me laugh, because marriage isn't this, I'm not a baron and she's not my, property. She wasn't gifted to me so that our two countries wouldn't go to war. Like, we live in an age in which that, like, the best case scenario, like if we look at who we are on our best selves, it's about working together. I'm not above her. She's not above me. She's not below me, and I'm not below her. We work together side by side. That's one of the things that we take into scripture. Why did God make Eve out of Adam's rib? Well, it's not to walk ahead of him. It's not to walk behind him, but it's to walk with him side by side. And yeah, I work with my wife on a budget. And if that offends you, well, honestly, good luck to you in this life. I honestly just, I will pray for you and wish you all the best luck. But I don't know if they meant it in a negative way or positive way. Ultimately, it really made me laugh, and I thought I'd share it with you guys as a part of our community discussion. As a final comment in community discussion, Sonia writes, I'm one of those females. For those of you who don't know, I shared my stats. We had like 97% male, 3% female. So welcome in, ladies. I'm glad that you're here. If there's ever a topic that you guys want me to kind of break down and talk about, sound off in the comments. I'm happy to kind of explore those ideas. Obviously, you'll get my perspective, but you wouldn't be asking for my perspective if you didn't want to hear it. And it doesn't necessarily mean we agree. It just means we're going to sit down today and have a good conversation. But they can continue on. I'm a big fan of Just the Normal Life Talk. To be honest, you're a wonderful, caring, and positive image of voice in my daily life, one of only a few, which is why I watch regardless of what the game or the topic is. And so thank you guys, especially if you come in and check out the content for these community discussions. I think that's really exciting that people are, vibing with those talks. And I just wanted to share this because I think it's important. I wanted to make sure you guys know that I'm happy to talk about whatever subject that you guys are interested in during these sections. And I want to continue to explore to encourage you. Like, if we shift into a kind of our message of hope perspective, I want to encourage you to always be the best version of yourself. Now, that is also, here's the kicker. Give yourself some grace. You don't have to be perfect. I'm not asking you to be perfect. The thing is we all fall. We all make mistakes. Like, I've been on this weight loss journey, 70 pounds down. And at the same time, like, give yourself some grace. Note that you don't have to be perfect every day. Like, if you get more wins than losses, you're a winner, you know, in that regards. So don't take any kind of setback as, well, I'm just going to throw up my hands and give up. Don't give up. Invest in yourself and get back on the horse, because it is absolutely worth the journey. You're going to feel so much better about yourself. You know, when we think about these things, at the end of the day, like, you're going to think so much better of yourself when you stop wasting processing cycles, dreading the thing that you haven't been able to do yet. Like, you're going to really, like, if you're going to waste more time and energy worrying about this thing that you need to do, swallow the frog, get up off the ground and get to work. And that's going to be something that I think will be a huge value to you in these times. Anyway, that's it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for being here. Shout out to the members. Shout out to all those who hit the like button on the video. And I look forward to reading your comments as always. And hopefully soon we'll be diving into the patch notes together and exploring this big, massive, beefy update together. But until then, guys, I thank you so much for your time. Hopefully I'll see you in the next video. But until then, take care.